Terrorism and social entrepreneurship. So I do carry Rob. He kind of saw terrorists as social enterprises. Why? Because they're motivated by social returns and the main output is the public good. Now obviously we've got to think about the subjectivity involved here in terms of different socialisation that people experience. So we're going to look at opportunity spotting in terrorism, the innovation in terrorism and the effects of non-distribution profits in terrorism, and also the output of terrorist organisations. So the characteristics that are similar to entrepreneurs, they look for opportunity and look for profits to fund certain social changing activities. Entrepreneurs generally have, because of their skills, they can go into different types of employment. So going into business is a choice for them. Terrorist organisations come from a very wealthy background. The Al-Qaeda network, they're very wealthy, so terrorism again is a choice for them. In terms of innovation, Rob, 2007, claimed that there's always constant innovation in warfare. We looked into this further, and this is because they have to routinely change the tactics and targets due to different oppressive forces. They constantly have to innovate and adapt to the changing environment because of political nature, and then obviously the environment itself, because of how much it changes, just forces entrepreneurial behaviour. So there's two ways in which you can determine a terrorist organisation as a social enterprise: the structure and the output. So in terms of the structure, both social enterprises and terrorist organisations are not profit motivated. They operate on a non-distribution constraint, which means no one takes a certain share of the profits. It's mainly just their salaries, so no one pays more percentage than the other. They do engage in profitable activity. In terms of enterprises, this is charitable donations or fundraising events. In terms of terrorist organisations, this is drug trafficking, human trafficking, which subsidizes their output, which is symbolic violence. Now the difference here is they go for club goods, which only serve the needs of the terrorist organisation and people involved, so they're not really socially orientated, so we class them as not being social enterprises. However, please note this is due to our socialisation and our subjectivity. So the output of violence, you've got to consider social enterprises are public goods, so they're public at large, that's what they serve. Then terrorist organisations are for the private good. They claim it's for the actual society, but really it's for themselves and their own political views and what they want and how they want the world to be formed. So there's a variety of complications because the variety of organisations and terrorist reasons that they engage in such activity. But you've got to look at the intent. Is it public or is it private? The terrorists, the nature of their output, basically the main output is violence, but from that they want political goals, which they class as being social and for the benefit of society, and which is what their supporters and religious followers will believe. However, again, from our socialisation, obviously we just see it as a private good. And it is a private good, but their society don't really believe that, they believe it's for the benefit of them. So here you can see, is it terrorist defence or is it violence? So we see our military and police as a defence and a public good. However, those who are religious followers will believe the same for their terrorist organisation. They will see them as their military and their police. But we see them as violent for a private good and a very narrow benefiting audience. But we're ignoring the moralistic component here. So they're not for profit and they aim to benefit the community. That's what they say, but that's mainly just to legitimise their actions, and that's the key thing here. You've got to think, why are they trying to legitimise it? Because it's criminal activity, it's wrong, and they shouldn't be doing it, it's just for their own benefit. But they're trying to convince the people that it's for their benefit. So the output is explicitly criminal. How do you consider entrepreneurs? Leaders of terrorist groups, they are innovative, they do adapt to environments, they obviously take risks, and they alert to opportunities, and they operate in an environment which requires entrepreneurial behaviour. Well, the things to consider when classing terrorist organisations as social enterprises, the output, is it public or is it private? Now, they do pursue social returns and not profits, but why are they doing it? They have to justify the violence in terms of defending the community. Why do they have to do that? Because it's wrong, and they know it's wrong, but they're obviously convinced that their immediate society is right. So they see violence as a public good. And the two final points here, so the general public, that's us, the West and the educated, we believe, they're not social enterprises. However, supporters and religious followers